Bleachers shake, the air's alive. Under Friday skies we thrive. Small town roar, it cracks the night. Underneath these autumn lights, dreams are born and take their flight. Big plays, big hearts, Tennessee calls. Small town legends under the falls. The crisp headlines, but the passions fly. High school glory, our one desire. Bleachers shake, the air's alive. Under Friday skies we thrive. Small town roar, it cracks the night. Underneath these autumn lights, dreams are born and take their flight. Big plays, big hearts, Tennessee calls. Small town legends under the falls. The crisp headlines, but the passions fly. High school glory, our one desire. Bleachers shake, the air's alive. Under Friday skies we thrive. Small town roar, it cracks the night. Underneath these autumn lights, dreams are born and take their flight. Big plays, big hearts, Tennessee calls. Small town legends under the falls. The crisp headlines, but the passions fly. High school glory, our one desire.
All right, welcome back to the Spot the Ball podcast. I'm your host, Bandy Chris. As I mentioned on Friday when I recorded all of the individual class playoff previews, I mentioned that there's going to be some changes going forward. I now have a new co-host, Mr. Jay Henson, who is also the radio play-by-play announcer over at Perry County for the Vikings. Jay, I'm glad to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, honored for you to ask me to do this with you, and looking forward to talking some high school football around the state.
Absolutely. Some incredible individual performances this weekend. But while we're here, let's go ahead and get into it. We'll start off in Division II. Let me find the right graphic here. We'll start out Division II Class 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one with all the big name schools: Knoxville Catholic, Baylor, McCallie, all of those teams that everybody would know just by hearing the name.
Right.
As we know, Baylor got a bye in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
They get to play Knoxville Catholic. That'll be an interesting. Catholic handled Christian Brothers. I don't think anybody didn't expect that. Of course, McCallie wins. The one game here that I thought was interesting was CPA and Lipscomb.
Yeah.
If somebody would have said 4 years ago that CPA and Lipscomb would be playing in the D2 Class 3 playoffs, I would have laughed at it.
Yeah.
Because at the time, they were both in Class 2 in Division 2. So
Right.
I would have never expected these two to be in Class 3. Coach Engel Martin over there at CPA getting it done, advancing in the playoffs, as CPA always does.
Right.
But it gets a little bit harder right now, right?
Yeah, you go up against a Innsworth school who, have been an absolute menace for about 20 years now, but they haven't been as good in the past, give or take 6 years, but they're on the rise, and they that's going to be a tough one to handle, even though CPA doesn't have to travel too far up Old Hickory.
Right.
So
The next one is MBA and Brentwood Academy.
mhm.
That's always a war. Brentwood
Big
handled
rivals.
them earlier in the year. So that's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
You can find the graphic for there's Class 2 in Division 2. A lot of schools I've never heard of. Like, this is actually Class A. Never heard of Providence Christian. Don't know who they are.
That one's out of Murfreesboro. There's actually two.
Okay.
There's a Providence Christian Academy, which is in Murfreesboro. Providence Academy, and that's in Knoxville, or in the area of Knoxville.
Okay.
They're fairly new. I mean, at least new programs otherwise, but but Providence Christian Academy in Murfreesboro's, they've really come on strong. I mean, they've only been in a program maybe 2-3 years now, and I mean they're already obviously a number one seed and a really good ball club in the top 5 in the state in 1A and in Division 2. So I mean they do a really good job down there, I think.
So you got to think they're getting a lot of their kids from what used to be known as Middle Tennessee Christian.
Well,
I would assume.
MTCS is still playing. I mean, they even won. Did you see down there? They beat Chattanooga Grace. So I think Murfreesboro's just getting so big. I mean, they can put so
Support
many
things
different
like that.
schools there.
Right. Very interesting.
Very.
They get a very good Friendship Christian that at
Mm-hmm.
the last week of the regular season, Nashville Christian handled them,
Right.
but it wasn't like they were outclassed. I mean,
No.
they put up a pretty good ball game for Nashville Christian.
I believe
So
that
that's
game
gonna
was
be-
at Nashville Christian, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting game, Providence and Friendship Christian.
Especially being at Providence.
I'm just not sure there's anybody in Division 2 Class A that is going to give Nashville Christian anything. They're defending state champs. It's five-star quarterback Jared Curtis. I mean, that team is absolutely loaded.
I mean, it's not just him. I mean, they got wide receivers and their running back is very skilled too, and their D line and O line remind me of each other because of how big they are.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a team that honestly could probably play really well in D2 and probably even compete in 3.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe they played. It was either Pope John Paul II or Ainsworth. They played one of those two schools and beat them. Might have been Pope John Paul.
Might have been Pope, yeah.
So that was, if they can handle a Class 3A team in Division 2, they're pretty stout.
I mean, that Trinity Christian game would be fun if it was at Jackson, but I think this year anybody in the top are home. So
Yes.
so I believe that's obviously going to help Nashville Christian against TCA, but TCA's always been pretty good. Of course, Jackson Christian has too, but they're a little bit down. USJ top bracket, which probably between them and Friendship are probably the two teams to watch in that top half of the bracket. But I really think Nashville Christian, I mean, they should just walk right into the state championship the way it seems to me.
Yeah. Seems pretty clear cut.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find the Class 2. There it is.
There it is.
I don't know a lot about Class 2 other than Gary Rankin is coaching down at Boyd Buchanan, and he's got a monster on his hands.
Yeah. It's always anywhere Coach Rankin goes. It don't matter. He's going to have a winning team. He's just that good of a coach. I mean, obviously, just a legend at Alcoa, and then before that, he was at Riverdale, and
Yep.
so I mean, this guy has a track record, and I think, with him being at Boyd, it's really livened up that Buccaneers team and that program, and they look even almost as clear cut as Nashville Christian, honestly, and they don't really have just that one stud guy you can think of like a Jared Curtis. It's everybody. I mean, they're just everybody on the team. It's kind of like Alcoa used to be, or still is. Honestly, they don't have one stud. They have 10 to 11 of them. So I'm really looking forward to how they'll do. I think they'll be okay against Franklin Grace, but then they'll have to probably more than likely face BGA, and Knoxville Grace is pretty good as well. So I mean those two teams will give them a challenge. If you look at the top of the bracket, FRA is probably the best out of that, but they'll probably have to drive to Memphis to play Lausanne.
Yeah.
So that might be a little bit of a battle there if they're able to get past. Is it Silverdale?
Yes, Silverdale's actually had a really good season.
Oh, when they beat ECS. So that's pretty good for Silverdale to go on the road and beat ECS in Memphis. So they might as well just get get some miles on that bus, because I mean they're going to have to drive from Chattanooga up to Franklin Road.
Yep.
But it looks like same with this one. I think Boyd will go right through that and probably have a good battle with Knoxville Grace, and then up top would probably be Lausanne and FRA, and I think it'll be more than likely FRA and Boyd Buchanan in that state championship.
Right. So let me see if I can find Class A real quick.
Okay.
There it is. It's kind of small to see.
Right.
And I don't know how to make it any bigger.
It's all good.
There's a team down in Chattanooga that I think deserves to be watched a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's Sail Creek up here in this top bracket.
Yeah.
They went 9-1 in the regular season. Their one loss was a very bad loss to South Pittsburgh. I mean, they got handled pretty bad. I think it was like 49-7. But that's South Pittsburgh. I mean, you're going to run into that.
They're the Alcoa of 1A. I mean, they usually struggle once they get to the semifinals, but here in these last 2 years, I think they've won the last two anyway. They've just been nothing but just really good athletes.
Yeah.
They've got 4 or 5 guys easily going D1, and they just know how to get things done down there, and they've always had a great program for 60 years now. They haven't been as good as like in the 90s and early 2000s, but these last 10 years they've really gotten it going. But Sail Creek, I mean, they came out of nowhere. They've only been a high school for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And they've really gotten their program on top. So I think, if they can get a couple games in and they have a chance to play South Pittsburgh again. In the
semifinals.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be at Sail. Well, either way, I think they would just want to have to play them again. I think they want to show them that was a fluke of a game.
Right. And down here on the Western bracket, I just don't know of anybody other than McKenzie that is a true threat to win the state title.
It's hard not to think that way because, I mean, sure, you have some teams in there that possibly could do it, but then again, you're like, they just don't have the athletes to play with McKenzie.
Right.
I mean, McKenzie's got a really good quarterback who's just a junior who we all thought. Now he's not Tate Serber, who's now at UT Martin, obviously, but
right.
He he gets it done. I mean, he had a really good game against Perry County last month, the month before last, and even though he wasn't as flashy as Tate, he just had he's got guys around him that can play. So they're going to have to go. I mean, I don't know who could possibly give them a possible, show. I mean, they're playing, I think, Greenfield this week, and so that'll be a tough game for Greenfield. But it's just whoever out of Memphis, I'm guessing. If I had to get maybe out of that other side, South Fulton probably won't. But there's just really not a whole lot of teams because all the good Memphis teams that were here, like Mace last year, Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering, they're now 2A or 3A. So you got them out. MAHS isn't around anymore. They folded. So you're right. I think it's just, I mean, it's McKenzie all the way down south, and then you look up in the east, and the east have more teams like Coalfield and South Pitt and Sail Creek, and I can't tell who that is at the very top. It was Hampton, but they got upset, so I can't say Hampton anymore.
Richland.
I think Richland could do something. I mean, they're probably one of the teams in this area that's probably got a good shot of making it to at least the semis. So,
that's an interesting one there is that Sail Creek is hosting that game instead of it being at Richland. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if it's because Sail Creek is a higher seed or what.
Could be. I bet if they were the same seed, I think the reason why they do that is if they are the same seed, it goes to the seed or the team that's on the top of the bracket. I think. Now, I'm not TLSAA minded here, so I don't really know. But I've got a feeling that's what it was. Now, they've changed it up this year with the way they've got the seedings and the way they've got regions playing differently. It's totally different. Like, I think my uncle's works at Lewis County, and he told me that they got to play Huntington, and I'm thinking Huntington. That's District 7 or Region 7. So why do they have to come to Lewis County? They're Region 5, but just
I think the way they did it is Region 1 number 1 plays Region 4 number 4. Region 2 number 2 plays Region 3 number 3.
Okay.
And then Region 3 number 1 would play Region 2 number 1 or something, number 2 or something like that. It's crazy. But they got it all mixed up where
you don't have to play the same team every year.
Right. I think I like this a little bit better because it's mixed up.
I do. I mean, I hate it for someone that have to drive to Fayetteville and then the next week they have to drive to McKenzie. That would stink. But other than that, I mean, I like this. You get to play different teams that you normally wouldn't play.
Right.
You can't just worry about like if you're Perry County, you can't just worry about Region 5. You have to worry about Region 7 and 8.
Yeah. It used to be where you get to the quarterfinals and your chances are you're playing somebody you've already played.
Correct. Now it's the chances of that are slim, but they could still happen, but not as likely with all the way they rearranged everything.
Most of the chances of that happening, like let's say Region 1 number 1 versus Region 1 number 2, the best time that would happen, the only time it could happen is in the semifinals.
Correct.
So
because they're on the bottom half of that top bracket.
I think I like that a little bit better.
Yeah. Instead of playing them, what is it, second rounds or quarterfinals?
Right.
Now you have a chance to play a team that, say that number 1 beat that number 2 by a field goal or something, or an extra or a 2-point conversion. Now you get another chance at them in the semifinals to who's going to play for a championship. So I like that.
Makes it a lot better. Makes it more worthy.
More storyline.
See if I can find 2A here. There's 2A.
There you go.
So, Lewis County, they got their win Friday night. Like you mentioned, they play Huntington.
It's a Huntington team that beat McKenzie 41-21 earlier in the year.
Yeah. That'll be a fun game.
That would be. And
I
it's at
can't-
Cornwall, so I may take the little trek over there to watch.
Go catch you some Drew Ray in action, right?
Right? The SEMO commit.
Kid's a ball player for sure.
He really is.
We got Gavin Withrow over here from Meigs County saying he and his team are going to win that state title this year.
Hey,
So
Meigs has had a really good team. I mean,
Very
a
good
good
team for a
program for
number
about
of
10
years.
years now. Yeah. Even when they were 1A, I mean, they were good. So all power to them. I hope they can. I mean, they've always had a really good team, and I think they have a really good chance up there. It's going to be tough, but I think they're one of the better teams in that East region.
yes, absolutely. Let's go to 3A real quick. This is the one we'll talk about. You'll get a little bit more discussion out of this because it's closer for me to follow because of one certain player. There's a game coming up in the second round. I think all eyes in the state are going to be on. And that's
What is that?
Forrest out of Chapel Hill
Mm-hmm.
going all the way over to Gatlinburg Pittman. That's a 4.5-hour bus ride. But that's a game that you normally would not see in the playoffs until
Correct.
the semifinals.
Right.
But what
So-
makes that game so intriguing is Gatlinburg Pittman, by all accounts, is probably the biggest threat in 3A to Martin Westview.
That is true.
The reason it's so intriguing is Forrest has got a little running back with an opportunity to hit 3,000 yards for the season.
That's saying something.
And that's rare company in this state because, as you know, the state record's 33.57 by Jalen Hurd.
Correct.
And if you get into 3,000 yards, you're pretty special.
I mean, if you get 3,010 games, that's obviously 300 yards a game.
Yes.
So he's at least somewhere around the ballpark of 270 right now if he's already over 3,000.
Yeah. Well, if he gets 202 against Gatlinburg Pittman, that'll put him at the 3,000 yard mark. It's
Wow.
absolutely stunning. And he's only a sophomore. That's the crazy part.
That should scare everybody.
Yes.
Everybody in 3A. And for one, Chapel Hill being 3A just mind boggles me, which I know
Yes.
3A is the lower class of the old 2A because, they split everything up into twos. But
Mhm.
still, like Chapel Hill, I mean, you still go there. It's just a one stoplight town,
Yes.
So, but man, that's just for a sophomore to be that athletically good and already about to possibly beat Jalen Hurd's record is even more incredible in my opinion.
Yes. But Forrest, they did go on the road this week,
Mhm.
went down to Chattanooga Prep and upset a higher seeded Prep.
Yeah.
And that was a matchup of two guys that are semifinalists for Mr. Football.
Right.
One clearly had the better night.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But over in the West, I mean, is there anything really worth discussing other than Martin Westview's pretty darn good?
I mean, I could sit here and throw the kitchen sink at everybody about, who could possibly upset Westview, but it's very hard to even think about or even fathom the fact that Westview has a chance to get beat. But I mean, if you look at it, there's just really not a whole lot of teams. I mean, you look at it, you got Melrose. Maybe their speed can help, but I don't know. That would be their quarterfinal game. They play 6-5 Westmoreland coming up. After that, then they would play more than likely Melrose, and then in the semis they would have to go on the road more than likely, and more than likely that would probably be to Covington, who they handled by 2 touchdowns. So unless they just get a very bad luck draw when it comes to officials,
Right.
I don't see them. I don't see them having any problems. You know, and you go back up to the top half of the bracket here for 3A, Meigs County and Sequatchie. That game will be interesting as well because Sequatchie's had a pretty good program the last few years as well.
Yes.
They beat South Pitt last year, and everybody couldn't believe it. And they've got a good team this year. But I think Meigs, the winner of that game, and the winner will have to play either Gatlinburg, Pittman, or Forest. There's a lot to like in the East on 3A. It's just,
A lot.
I mean, you got Giles County and McMinn Central. Of course, Giles they won because of forfeit. And then Tyner plays Unicoi County, and that's a 1 and a 2 going up against each other. But Tyner's 10-1 and Unicoi 9-2. And then you look down here at the West, and you got, Fairview. I mean, Maplewood even beat Waverly at Waverly. That blew me up. So there's just more parity up in the East to say, oh, I can see Meigs getting there, or I could see Gatlinburg, Pittman, Forest. Like all 8 of the top bracket, I could see winning. But then you go down here to the West, and you're like, I can't see anybody that's going to play with Westview.
Right.
Especially at Westview on the campus of UT Martin.
Right.
I don't see it. But
so that brings up an interesting question for me. So your 3 finalists for skill position players are Graham Simpson, Quincy Mitchell, and the young man from Chattanooga Prep. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I had it just a few minutes ago. Do you lean towards Simpson, or do you lean more towards a guy like Mitchell that here he is 7th nationally rushing, and he's doing it at a school that's not a football factory like Westview is, and doesn't have all the advantage that Graham Simpson does, having access to collegiate workouts?
I think most media will lean toward the person that gets talked about the most. And obviously Graham will be talked more about than anybody because he's not only one, he's a great quarterback, nothing against that at all.
Right.
He's also Ty Simpson's brother, who, he's top 3 in the country in passing and everything else, and probably going to be in New York for the Heisman candidacy. Now, I don't know if he'll win it or not, but he's definitely probably a top 3. And then you got, his dad is the football coach at UT Martin. So you got all that for Graham.
Yeah.
But then you look at Quincy, who's doing it under the radar. And he is, once people see his numbers, granted, he might not have played as many good teams, but then again, who's Westview played to?
Right.
Now, they did play Covington. I'll give them credit on that. That's one team I'm like, okay, that's a team you don't just bully over. And Westview did that. But Forest plays some pretty good teams, too, over there. They played
Sequatchie County.
Sequatchie.
They played all Giles County. They played all of them.
So, me personally, it's hard to pick not a quarterback just because they're the catcher, they're the shortstop of the point guard of the team, they're the main guy. But me personally, I would go after Quincy just because of what he's doing, especially if he breaks Hurd's record.
Right.
I think if they do that, and they beat Pittman on Friday, even if they don't beat Pittman, let's go with that. Even if they don't beat Pittman, but he still beats Hurd's record, he's a lock, in my opinion.
See, even if he don't break the record, if he just gets to 3,000,
Correct.
There's only 3 or 4 other people in the state that have ever done that.
Yep.
I mean, that's got to be noteworthy, right?
You would think, especially him just being a sophomore. I mean, think about how he'd be if he's a senior
Yes.
and more mature. I mean, you got a 15-year-old kid. And of course,
Yeah.
Graham's 15 too. Isn't he a sophomore?
He's a sophomore as well.
So, I mean, you got 2 young guns going at it. I mean, I'm glad I'm not on that committee.
Right. I'm
Let's
glad
just
I'm
say
not a
that right
voter.
now. I'm glad I'm not in the TWSAA and I don't have to vote this because there's strong votes for each one.
Yeah.
But if you want to go by what they have and what they don't have, I think Graham has more
advantages.
advantages due to
Yep.
the fact of where he's at than Quincy. And Quincy's doing it with less,
Yes.
in my opinion.
That's what my vote would come down to. Who's got the advantages here? Who has the workout equipment? Who has the technology? Who has all of the resources, I should say.
Right.
And Graham obviously has more resources, so I have to look more at the guy without the resources doing it.
And it's not Graham's fault. He's just
No.
he's in a predicament where he has more things that he could work with. Now, I know Forest has some great facilities, and I'm sure they've got top-notch stuff. But when you're playing on a campus football field on a UT Martin field,
Yeah.
and I don't know if Forest has an indoor facility, but I definitely know UT Martin does, and I'm sure Westview practices inside it. That just makes it even more. So you're right. Advantages definitely goes to Graham, but when it comes to voting, especially if Mr. Mitchell can get over 3,000, I think he wins it, in my opinion.
Yeah. So let me see if I can find 4A real quick. These are all mixed up. I don't know how they got mixed up because I put them in here in an order.
It's just how it goes.
There's 5A. There's 4A.
There it is.
The eastern half of 4A is a
Loaded?
war zone. Yeah, it's loaded.
Gosh.
You have Anderson County.
Mhm.
You have Greenville. You have, look down here,
The 10-time
14.
champs.
14 consecutive state champions who have only lost one region game since 2011 that just got beat by, Anderson County 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is loaded up here.
I mean, it's so easy to figure. I mean, obviously you got Alcoa and then Anderson County, Greenville. So, I mean, Greenville and Anderson County's got to play each other if they both win, which they should. But, I mean, Anderson County struggled with Volunteer, but of course that could just been, could have been just, they might have had all their starters out at that time and they came back and made it look good. I don't know. But, but I mean, gosh, Greenville, I mean, before they got in 4A, they were one of the best teams in 3A.
Yes.
All the time, every year. But then they play Alcoa, and of course, Alcoa skipped. But usually they would always play Alcoa, and it would be a battle.
Mm-hmm.
It was always them and Greenville who's going to the state championship. And then when Alcoa went to 2A, it was just Greenville out of the East. It seemed like they were about like the Maryville of 3A, but now you've got 3 legit contenders in that top half bracket. And I'm not saying nothing bad about Upperman. They're going to give Alcoa all they got. I mean, Alcoa's got to go to Jasper, or not Jasper. I'm sorry. Upperman's in Baxter. Sorry, Baxter, Tennessee. So they got to drive up there. That's about a 2.5, 3 hour trip. So, I mean, it's not going to be easy. But if you go with that, Anderson County's got to play a good Stone Memorial team. who's 10-1, and then Greenville has to play Sparta, White County, who's 8-3. But Greenville's got home field advantage the entire time
Yeah.
since they're on that top half bracket. So, gosh, those three teams out of these 8 that are left that's something.
So, given that the state semifinals, if Greenville wins out,
Mm-hmm.
the semifinals would be at Greenville.
Correct.
Is that advantage Greenville over Alcoa?
Definitely, because they would have to have beaten Anderson County, who beat Alcoa.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean they might not have the personnel like Alcoa has.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not Alcoa, Anderson County did. But they were able to beat Anderson County. Of course, it wouldn't be at Anderson County either.
Right.
Alcoa lost at Anderson County, correct?
Yes, I believe it was at Anderson.
And I believe it was, you said, 2 weeks ago or so?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll look that up real quick. But, yeah, I mean, it really goes to the advantage Greenville because, I mean, they are one of the top teams at home. Like, they don't lose at home. That's one of the toughest places to play. Now, I've never been there, but I just know that it's always a tough place to play.
You got Brandon. He's correcting us that they hadn't been in 3A. I think
My
he's
fault.
right. Yeah, I think he's right that Greenville was always 4A and Alcoa was always 3A.
That's right. I got them mixed up. That's my fault.
But
I'm a 1A guy.
I think
I get hard.
years ago, I think Greenville was a 3A with Alcoa, and that was before they went to 5 or 6 classes. It's back when they were.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way before you and I, probably.
Right.
Let's see.
4 state championships.
Right. Let's see. That game was on. Okay, it was on Halloween. They lost 31-30, and it was in Andersonville.
So.
Or Clinton. I'm sorry.
I can see Greenville having the home field advantage all the way through and coming out of the East.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no letdown along the way. Got Anderson County probably in the quarters. And again, Alcoa in the semifinals. That's just nasty work.
I mean, you could almost say that you would be well pressed all the way to the state championship, and then if you make it a state championship, it might not be easy because then even though Pearl Cone's 7-4, they're a top 6 team in the state,
and they're on a 7-game win streak and just put up 70 in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, of course, Marshall County will be there. They're going to be decent. Of course, they got a host Pearl, but South Gibson's decent, and then you got Lexington who went to Haywood and won 25-22.
Yep.
And then don't forget Springfield up in Robertson County. That team's always pretty good.
Whose only loss is a region loss to Pearl Cone.
There you go. So, I mean, that there could be a Pearl Cone Springfield game for semifinals. So, I mean, it's just crazy how I mean, I'm like you know, when it comes to like 1A and 2A stuff, when it comes to the way the bracket is set up, it's when you look at the teams in the upper echelon of the state, it's even better. I mean, who wouldn't want to watch Pearl Cone and Springfield or Greenville and Alcoa? I mean, it's just that those are like just like state championship worthy games instead of semifinals or even quarterfinal games.
Yeah. And like Brandon says, he'd take any team out of the East by 3 touchdowns over any team out of the West. That may be the case.
Maybe.
Because those 3 teams, Greenville, Anderson County, and Alcoa, so they are football factories, period.
Have been for years.
Yes.
No letdowns. They're always over 500.
And we know the 4 losses that Pearl had early in the season. I mean, they were blown out. They weren't close games. They lost to
No.
MBA. They lost to CPA. They lost to BGA, and they lost to Oakland.
Right.
Those were not close games, and those were against football factories.
Against teams that have gotten D1 players for years. So
and that's what you're running into when you get to the finals in 4A.
yeah,
Somebody
every bit
that's
of it.
loaded with D1 talent.
Every bit of it. Those teams have so much talent on their teams. It's not even funny. I mean, you can just guess on who all has certain things.
Mhm.
These guys have talent all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost unreal. I'm trying to find that NBA or Pearl Cone schedule. Here it is.
It was
Okay.
brutal.
They went to NBA, lost 17-14, went to CPA, lost 42-34, then played at home against BGA. BGA, Battleground Academy, lost 42-17, went to Oakland, lost 38-6.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and they only
and then
beat
run off 7 straight.
yeah, and they beat Springfield 35-33. Only beat Kenwood 19-0, but they seem like they've gotten better as the season's gone on.
Mhm. But
yeah, that first 5 games of that schedule is brutal. But I'm kind of like the last commenter. I think Greenville, whoever comes out of that East is going to be hard for anybody out of the West in 4A, in my opinion.
Exactly. And then looking at 5A, I'm saying don't sleep on this team up here at the top, Sevier County.
No, can't.
They are explosive.
I remember that kid that played at Sevier County that committed to Vandy a while back. It's probably 7-8
Deuce
years ago.
Wallace.
Now.
Yep.
Deuce Wallace. They always had, they could score 50 on you in a minute. Now, they're still about like that now. I mean, they're a factory now. They've been a low key factory,
Mhm.
but they're a factory. And of course, now they moved up to 5A. It's a little bit harder now that they're in there with Powell and Knoxville Central and all that. But then you got you look at the West, and I think the West stacks up better than the East side does. I mean, there's good teams in all this. I mean, you look at Knoxville Central. I mean, Columbia upset East Hamilton last week. It was a basketball score, 70-42.
Yeah.
Looks like a Summertown beat down against Perry County. And then, you look at Sevier County, who, Knoxville West. I mean, what can you say about them? They've been
Right.
good for 10, 15 years now. And they did, they beat them 34-9 like it was nothing. So
we were talking about how good Greenville and the teams in 4A are.
mm-hmm.
Sevier County handed Greenville their only loss in double
That's
overtime.
crazy. That's crazy.
No, the one interesting game I saw in 5A in the first round was, how about the Lawrence County Wildcats, who hadn't been to the playoffs since 2010,
Mm-hmm.
getting their first playoff game, traveling to Ray County, and just lighting them up. I did not see that one happen.
No, because I try to keep up with them all the time, everybody, and I was watching the Lewis County, Houston County game, and one of the guys said something about Lawrenceburg's beating Ray County, and I thought, are you sure about that? So I went over on the NFHS network and went over on the Ray County game, and sure enough, I was just shocked.
Ray County couldn't stop them.
No, Lawrence County could do whatever they wanted. And that's a real sleeper team because Ray County's not a pushover.
Yeah, they're not a pushover at all.
I mean, they were a 1 seed out of that Region 3 with Walker Valley and McMinn County. And also, I believe there's one more. Um, McMinn County, Ray County. There's one more. There it is, East Hamilton. So I mean, all those teams are over. Besides Tullahoe, well, all four teams are over 500.
Mhm.
They were 7-3 or better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Lawrence County they walked in there and said, "We don't care. We haven't
Right.
been to the playoffs since some of them were even born,"
Right.
and took them to school. I mean, congrats to Lawrenceburg. I mean, nothing you can say about that. And you got to go up against Knoxville Halls. May not have as good of a record, but you have to drive to Knoxville. After you drove to Englewood or what I think that's where that Ray County is, and play them. So all power to them.
So do you think it would be good for this southern middle Tennessee area to have these quarterfinals right here with Lawrence County and Columbia?
Oh, every bit of it.
An old 9 AAA rivalry game.
That might be a game I'd actually want to go and watch, but unfortunately, Perry County has their first game that night. So if that did happen, I wouldn't be able to go.
Right.
But gosh, that would be like this.
That'd be fun.
This middle part of this little southeast central area, Lewis, Wayne, Lawrence, Perry, Hickman, even Murray. That would be an absolute, in my opinion, a gate game. There would be so many people at that game.
I think so too. Down here in the western part, is there anybody that can do anything with Page? Maybe Memphis Central? I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, Henry County's not like they used to be.
No.
They're not the juggernaut like they used to be. The Beach Munford game though might give them something. Now Beach, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how bad Page beat them this year. I don't know if they even played, but I know one thing: it will be a very good ball game if they got to play. With Beach and Page, just because of how good both teams have been. No, they have not played each other.
So I'm like Brandon. I think this is going to be Page and Sevier County.
Yep.
And I don't think there's any question those two are looked at as head and shoulders above everybody else.
No, I agree. I don't know much about Kirkwood. I know they've been good their first 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they've got enough juice to beat Page, especially in Franklin. So I'm with Brandon. I think Sevier County, even though I don't think they have a walkthrough, I think they might struggle a little bit with Walker Valley and probably Powell. But after that, I don't know who they'll play out of those four between Lawrence County, Knoxville Halls, and Central, and Columbia Central.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, you're almost looking at chalk right now. There's just not as much parity. I mean, we talked about it in the first four, brackets, that we had a lot of parity. That you could see these teams doing it. I really don't see anybody touching Sevier County or Page right now.
So Terry asked a good question. To paraphrase, do top high schools in Tennessee go play other states? And how do we fare in that? I can say this season, at the time, there was a team from California who was ranked 6th in the country.
Yeah, Mission
Viejo.
Yeah.
Traveled over to Tennessee to play one of our private schools, McCallie, and McCallie handled them pretty handily.
Yep.
The number one team and the team that's viewed as the best team in the state, bar none, is Chattanooga Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
And they played Buford, Georgia, who's a consistent top 25 nationally team.
And also just opened up a stadium that's about as good as anybody in the NCAA.
And handled them.
Yeah.
So comparatively, we can handle some of our top end teams can and do handle teams from other states.
They really do. And even some teams that are, like McKenzie and South Pitt, I mean, they play
Yep.
teams out of state. And, even though Kentucky's not, generally
Right.
speaking, a football state, they do play some top teams from up there. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's we handle our own pretty much in football around here. I mean, it may not be as big as Texas, but
Right.
or even California, but I think we're a close third.
I would agree with that. And actually, Terry, no, they weren't exhibition games. They weren't preseason. They were
No.
regular season scheduled games.
Yep.
So gives us some credit into what the state is doing football wise.
Correct.
Let me see this 6A bracket real quick. And this is where it gets. This is another interesting one because there's some teams.
Yeah.
Over in East Tennessee, it's going to be hard pressed to find anybody to beat Maryville. If I'm being honest.
I mean, it's looking more and more like a Oakland Maryville semifinal times 10 or however many in a row they've had.
Yeah.
Before Oakland became the juggernaut that they are now, Maryville
used to handle everybody.
They would handle it. Yeah, they got the semis. You knew it was a bet they're going to state.
Yep.
But now, these last 5-6 years, not so much. Kind of a Lee Corso, not so fast. Everybody's like, well, Maryville's the thing of the East. Not with Oakland being in that East region anymore.
Right.
So but there have been some teams this year that have played close with Oakland that I've noticed.
There has.
Now, I'm not saying Oakland's down or anything. They're still very, very good. I mean, 10-0, 11-0 now, and throttled Cookeville 42-10. And now they got to play Bradley Central, who beat Jefferson County pretty good. But then they have, their next game, I mean, they go up against possibly a pretty good little Green Hill team out of Mount Juliet, who's only been a school for about 3 to 4 years now.
Yeah.
So, that could be a quote unquote trap game of if you're thinking they're just going to walk into Finley Stadium in Chattanooga. And then you got Maryville, who they've got to play Riverdale, who took Oakland to the brink. And Blackman goes to Dobbins-Bennett. And honestly, I can see Blackman going to Dobbins-Bennett and beating them.
So I've been saying for a couple of years that Region 7, 6A down there in Memphis was the toughest in the state.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been down a little bit this year.
Right.
And you have to say, this region up here in Middle Tennessee with Oakland, Blackman, Riverdale, I don't know that there's a tougher region anywhere in the state.
It's crazy when you're one of the bottom teams like Rockville goes 6-4.
And your 4 losses are to possibly 4 of the top 10 in the state.
If not the whole Southeast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy to see how these teams, I mean, in Murfreesboro, it just needs to be the Rutherford County district.
Right.
Because that's all the teams out of that region are. Is it Region 2 or Region 3?
Region 3, I think.
Yes, Region 3. So, I mean, they just need to call that Rutherford County because they're all in Murfreesboro. They're all within a radius of 3 miles from each other. And even Laverne was good, and they were the last team. So,
yeah,
all 6, 7 of those teams are really good. So it's going that top half of that bracket is really going to be fun, especially if Maryville continues to get better. Of course, their only loss was against Alcoa, and of course they're 2 miles from each other. So that's going to be they're going to be hard to handle. But if that game is at Maryville, it will definitely be a hard game for Oakland. But if they have to go to Oakland, same thing, long bus ride each way.
Right. Down here in the West, this is where you had the biggest upset in the entire state in the first round. I don't think anybody had this on their radar. Houston taking down Germantown. What in the world went wrong down there?
It's crazy to think about because like Houston is in Germantown.
Yeah.
It's on the east side of Memphis. So I mean, when I saw that score, I couldn't help but kind of think, how did that go? So I looked, I had some contacts I asked, and they just said Houston just went down there and played their game, and Germantown just could not stop them when they needed them. They got in a hole early, and then they tried to climb out of it, and Houston wouldn't let them out.
And the interesting part about it, so I started watching it. I'm thinking, this team in the red just looks so much bigger, and so much more athletic than this little team in the white and the black helmets. The difference in their bodies was incredible.
Yeah.
And yet Houston did the dang thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the story of the little team that could.
It's almost like all these teams that are so much bigger, and you go up against this little bitty team, and you're like, oh, that's going to be a cakewalk, and they have more heart and more talent than you do, and you're bigger than they are.
Right.
So, I mean, Houston was supposed to have a down year. They were really good last year. I think, didn't they win 6A?
Yeah.
Last year. So, I mean, they're young. They're younger this year, but it's not like their whole year they got destroyed by anybody. They were in games, so you got to give credit where credit's due. And I mean, you just got to tip your hat to Houston. And of course, their road don't look much better. I mean, they got to travel to Brentwood to take on Ravenwood,
who might be the best team in the state.
And it very well could be the best team. With besides them, you got Southwind, who I'm very intrigued with out of Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Brentwood beat Rossview, but they've got to go to Southwind, and that's not going to be easy.
Right.
So, and then Collierville's going to be good. Another team that's right there on the east side. So, I mean, the winner of Ravenwood Houston will more than likely play Independence, but it's showing Whitehaven being the home team there. So, I know why. Because Independence was a 4 and they beat Clarksville.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why. So, and they're 5-5, and Whitehaven is 6-4.
Yep.
So, it's going to come down to it, but I think Ravenwood will be fine. I think they'll probably make it to the semis, and either them or Collierville. I mean, Southwind, that's one to keep an eye on. But man, that east side of the bracket, you could really see Blackman, Maryville, Riverdale, and Oakland, all possibly even Green Hill, making it just because of how good all those teams are.
Yes. The one I'm intrigued by is Antioch.
Yes.
And their 4A, the 4-star quarterback, Andre Adams, who is electric.
He's fun to watch.
He is fun to watch. I got to see him play a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, my goodness, this is fun. And I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but he is very close to and very high on a certain SEC school.
Just a little bit.
Might put a smile on some people's face. But
Yeah,
I
he's
think that's intriguing. If they can get to Ravenwood in the
yeah.
semifinals, how does that match up? That would be fun to watch.
That's speed against power.
Yes.
Antioch with speed, Ravenwood with power, and Ravenwood just wants to knock you out. That's
Yep.
just how they've been for about a decade now. They've got big old linemen. They got some good players in the skill position.
Hmm.
And then you look at Antioch. They're big too. Don't get me wrong, but they're more skilled when it comes to flashiness and
Yep.
getting out in the open.
Yeah.
So and it's very hard to contain them. They have their line blocks really well. Their defense is quick.
Hmm.
It don't matter how fast you got a guy. They've got two or three guys faster.
Right.
So I mean
So
that would be very interesting for the Southern Nashville and metropolitan area if that was a semifinal game.
that would almost be worth going to as well.
Every bit of it.
But it's hard to pick a winner out of that one until we get a little bit farther in there. Like
Right.
you said, out of the East, there's 3 or 4 teams that can come out of there. Out of the West, there's at least 3 teams that can come out of the West. It's going to be fun to watch in 6A.
I mean
So
that bracket was almost as crazy as
the 4A,
the 4A and 3A. I mean
yeah,
5A was more clear cut, but 1 through 4 and 6, you got a lot of a flip a coin. Who's going to come ready to play type games? I mean,
yeah.
you can't pick one.
So I did get a little bit busy today. I didn't get to make as many graphics as I wanted to. One thing we do over here, we like to give out a Player of the Week award. We call it the Titan Award.
Okay.
To infiltrate the Tennessee Titans a little bit, right?
Right.
It just sounds like a great award for a high school ball player.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't get to make any graphics other than I got the Titan Award done, but I didn't get the rest of the nominees done. But wanted to go over 2 of the nominees. Drew Ray, we mentioned him earlier, over at Lewis County.
Mm-hmm.
He had 20 carries, 246 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also had 5 tackles on defense.
Yep.
And then Daniel Booker out of Columbia had 26 carries, 383 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Man,
The 383 yards is a school record, as is the 6 touchdowns.
wow.
Pretty good performance, right?
It's not bad because Central's had some really good teams. And for that to be the record is even more wild.
So, and I like this. Brandon Ivy says, Caden Baugh, 12-12 passing, 296, 107 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. That's an incredible performance.
It is. That's over
so-
400 yards of total offense. I mean,
Right. And if you know of players that you think should be nominated, feel free to message us that, because we will respond. And it's hard following everything and trying to get all the numbers from all the players.
Yeah.
And I never saw this one posted anywhere.
Yeah. I don't. Where did he play?
He plays at Greenville.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably one we don't see because we're from Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Ooh, and only played the first half.
and played the
Yikes.
first half. Yeah, thanks.
That's pretty impressive, right?
I don't care who you're playing. You put that much in the 24 minutes.
Right.
That's saying something.
So that's crazy. So unfortunately, I didn't have access to that one. So the guy that I picked, we talked about him earlier. How about Quincy Mitchell?
Mm-hmm.
43 carries, 406 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. And then he also had, it was crazy. He played about 20 snaps on defense. Didn't
Yeah.
get a lot of action. But the kid from Chattanooga Prep, that's a Mr. Football nominee,
Mhm.
I remember his first name is Marquise. He fumbled. One of their linemen picked it up, and one of the offensive linemen was going to tackle him, and he just kind of pitched it to whoever was behind him.
Yeah.
Just happened to be Quincy Mitchell, who takes it all the way in for a touchdown, for his 7th touchdown.
Wow.
For the season, that's 2,798 yards. 7th nationally in rushing. It's going to be hard to top him over Player of the Year in the Mid-State or
Every bit
Player
of
of
it.
the Year.
And it's definitely
And-
going to be tough to say that he's not one of the best teams in not only the state but the country.
Yes, to be 7th nationally as a sophomore, that's incredible.
I was fixing to say he's
Uh,
15.
Got the special person in his life saying thank you for the support.
Mhm.
Absolutely, you put up numbers like that, you're going to get support from us.
Every bit of it. His name is Marquise Gardner.
That's right.
Gardner. That plays at Chattanooga Prep.
He was good too.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It just Quincy put on such a show the other night. It was absolutely incredible to watch.
35 touchdowns is just an amazing stat.
Yeah. So kudos to Quincy Mitchell for being our Titan Award winner for the week.
Definitely. Well deserved. And I'm sure there was other nominees that we might not have even had
Right.
access to. So
Right.
it would be nice if we could get all that access and be able to, to find, sit down and look at it and go, okay, who should we pick? So
We would appreciate that greatly, Brandon, if you could
yeah,
do
definitely.
that. That helps us out a lot.
Big
Because
time.
just being new at this and our first year of doing this show,
Mm-hmm.
the response has been nice.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to growing it and getting
Mhm.
contacts throughout the state. And I appreciate the interaction in the chat. It's been great to have. I'm
Makes it
just
more fun.
very appreciative of it.
Yeah.
Hayden Lightfoot, 39 says 39 touchdowns. Yeah. That's a lot of touchdowns.
I don't know if I even saw 39 touchdowns in all the games I watched this season or not.
I did see
Especially
when
the ones I broadcasted.
I did see when I was looking up the national leaders. One of the kids in the top 7 had 54 touchdowns. I'm like, how do you get that many? That's nuts.
It's nobody else.
Yeah. And there's
He's the only one.
a kid in Indiana, as mind-boggling as Quincy Mitchell is with approaching 3,000 yards. There's a kid in Indiana that's got 4,000. He's over 4,000 already. Like, how do you do that? That's just...
And that's
can't
Indiana.
run it.
That's a basketball state.
You can't run any other plays and just handing your running back to football, right? There's nothing else you can.
I'd like to know how many carries he gets a night.
It's
60,
insane.
60, 70 carries a night.
Crazy.
Wow. 4,000 yards. My goodness.
Okay. So we might have a person to be considered here covering football for the eastern side of the state.
Well, we need it.
Definitely.
I mean, you and I know a lot more about this side and across the river than we
Yeah.
do anything east of Nashville for the most part. But I know there's a lot of good football. I mean, besides obviously Alcoa, Maryville, all that.
Coalfield, Cosby, Gatlinburg, Pittman, they're all,
Yeah, I would love
solid
to-
programs for years.
Yeah, I want names. I don't, I don't
Yeah.
want to just see the highlights. I want to see names.
Right.
So that would be great if we were able to have have somebody from East Tennessee help us out a little bit.
That would be perfect.
Every bit of it.
But other than that, I don't have anything else for tonight.
Okay.
We will come back next Sunday night and go over the second round of the playoffs and our Player of the Week nominees. And Brandon, if you don't mind messaging the show on our page, that would be absolutely perfect.
Definitely.
And I'll get in touch with you, and we'll go from there. Do you got any parting words, Jay?
Just, really enjoyed this. Really enjoyed the interaction we had, and also the fan feedback that we got there at the end, and hopefully have even more next week. And it's just good to finally have a show to where we can sit here and talk about high school football for more than 15 minutes. We get to sit here and talk about it for here we are over an hour. So, and it went by pretty quick. So I'm appreciative of that, and thanks for thinking of me, even though we're rivals on the court, but we're the same fans when it comes to the Star V. So I'm honored to be with you and look forward to doing more.
Yeah, so I think I talked to you about it when I started this. High school football in Tennessee, there's a severe lack of coverage in the media.
Mm-hmm.
And what I wanted to do is try to highlight, hey, we've got some really good high school football in Tennessee. Some of these kids deserve to be highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how I was going to do it when I started it. There's no scoreboard shows to watch anywhere.
Mm-mm.
So my thinking is Friday nights is too late for anybody to do a podcast or to do anything like that. So I want to schedule it on a time when people can sit down and watch and hear what happened in Tennessee.
Right.
You don't want to do that while you're watching college football. So
No,
Sunday
there's been so many good games on after 6 o'clock.
Right. So Sunday evening seemed like a process of elimination. This is when I have to do it.
Right.
And to build a following that, once we get the page for the podcast up to 100 viewers or 100 followers, we can actually go live on our page. I'm looking forward to that.
Definitely.
So right now we go live on my college sports podcast. We go live on their page and just share it everywhere.
Right.
So it's a work in progress. We're going to get there.
Yeah.
I
think more people want to hear about local stuff because, you think about what happens in these small towns. You and I both know when it comes to basketball, but definitely in some of these football towns, I'll throw it out there. Waynesboro is one of the biggest football towns out here.
And we'll shut the town down to go to a playoff game.
And there's so many more that we don't even know about or even been to.
Right.
That do the same. So we want to highlight all that, and that's our goal, your goal, and my goal as well. So
I appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for watching. 11 viewers right now. Appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate the like and the support. Go ahead and follow our Facebook page. And until next Sunday, y'all have a good one. Make sure to tell a United States Marine happy birthday tomorrow. Tomorrow's the Marine Corps birthday.
Definitely.
And thank a veteran on Tuesday for Veterans Day. And with that, we're out.
All right.
This is a dangerous